Yeah, good morning, everyone. This is Varma Rajasagi from ConjureOnline.com. I hope all of you, uh, enjoyed the session on the numbers in yesterday. So, in case if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And do not hesitate. It should not be a possible. Keep interacting through chat window. And people who are joining the session, please make sure that you are saying hi. I think we have uh, Roy and we have Emmanuel. A very warm good evening, good morning to all of you. Please make sure that we are proactively responding to all the queries. In case if you have any doubts, don't hesitate. Again, I'll keep saying, but the idea is we need to be able to take the benefit of the session as much as possible. And I'm extremely sorry for the regret for the inconvenience caused on the yesterday's session. Yes, the last 10 minutes I think there was small issue in terms of reminders. I hope in case if you have any doubt, we will at the end of today's session, I will still be able to explain. So let's start for the topic of the day. Today is going to be series and missing terms and as much as coding and decoding. Today, in fact, unlike this previous session, I would be throwing a lot of questions because it should be on the practice based questions rather than concepts. I'm sure all of you know the fundamentals because whenever you have the series, you will always find the difference is going to be some kind of relation, whether it is in terms of even numbers, or it could be on the odd terms, or it could be prime numbers, or it could be squares of the prime numbers, or it could be some relation where there is a constant difference between the given terms. So it is always in fact for the most of the cases in series and missing terms, uh, if you are able to get the concept within 30 seconds, you are able to get it. Otherwise, it's even if you take 1 hour, it is not going to get it. So you should not waste your energies in exploring the answers in multiple fashions. So all that you need to see is you cannot have more than 1 minute such kind of questions, because 1 minute itself is a luxury, because you need to save the time. Time is always no value in case of competitive exams, because you can spend those whatever time you are saving in these questions can be actually utilized in the rest of the question, thereby you still maximize the no our ultimate goal is maximize the number of items at the same time without compromising on the accuracy of the question. For me, both are important. Accuracy and number of items are also important. If your accuracy is very low and the number of items are very high, it does not add any value. At the same time, your accuracy is very high and your number of items are minimal, then also you will not be able to clear. So it is important that your accuracy is high. At the same time, you are also increasing the number of items over the period. Then that is where you will see the benefits. Once you start cracking, it is obviously once you get into the positive cycle, you will be able to get into the moment. In fact, I still remember the first exam I cracked in after my engineering was HAL. That gives me the confidence that I will be able to crack any kind of exam. And immediately I got an offer from NTPC, DRDO and ISRO as well as the BHEL. So that is the kind of positive cycle spiral you need to get into it. Obviously you will be able to crack any other exam. So you need to keep practicing. There is no other shortcut for this. You need to get aware of the pattern. In the exam, we should not be spending our energies in terms of in the understanding the question patterns or understanding the questions. Ideally, you should be able to know what you need to. Only you should be able to attempt the questions without even wasting your energies in understanding the pattern. With that note, I'm starting with the simple questions. Let's see how many of you can do it. Feel free to ask me in case if you have any doubts. And I think we have a lot of people who are onboarded the today's session. Mitakshi, Lokesh, Siddharth, Pratik, Kumar, Himanshu, and Swaroop, Ganesh, Anirudh. Yes, a very warm good morning to all of you. Let's see that we are starting the session. Yeah, first question I've already broadcasted. Feel free to ask me in case if you have any doubts. I've already broadcasted the first question. Please make sure that this is a basic question. You should not take any time and keep responding over the platform. Make use of the ICQ window. It's a very basic question. I'm sure you should not take more than what you call 1 minute. Yeah, I'm looking forward to your choices. I see a couple of 50 say 55. Patak says 55. Trinakshi Roy says 55. Yes, I see. It's a very basic question. In fact, I think, yeah, I might have broadcasted the wrong question. Okay, let me broadcast this as well. Yeah. So in fact, I've already broadcasted two questions, so you can look at both of them one after the other. If you look at the first question, yes, most of you are absolutely right. I don't need to really waste my energies here. If you look at the difference being here, how much? Look at the difference, 4. Again, look at the difference, 6. Look at the difference, 8. Look at the difference, 10. Some people, there are multiple way of looking at. Again, if you look at the difference here, 2. Again, if you look at the difference is 2. Again, if you look at the difference is 2, definitely the next difference is going to be, because it's being a constant difference. So yes, it will be definitely 2, which means this has to be 12. So if you look at the required number, which is obviously going to be 43 plus 12, 55, which is very simple. So here, no, in the second level, the difference is constant. If you are smart, I don't need to really, no, what you call, I don't need to really, I don't, just give me a second. Yeah, so if you look at the constant difference being 2, 2, 2, whereas if I were you, I don't need to really, sorry, yeah, I don't need to really waste my energies again in the second level. Rather, I should be able to understand the fact if it is 4, 6, 8, 10, because it is an arithmetic progression. Slowly I need to see that, I'm increasing my thought process. So obviously what should have been the next number? It has to be 12. I don't need to really again make a constant difference another level. Rather, I should be able to immediately understand the fact it has to be 12. So the required number is simply going to be 43 plus 12, which is going to be 55. I'm sure all of you might have done. Let's move on to the next question. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. All the people who ever shared, Kumar, Sveta, Pratik, Ganesh, or all of you are absolutely right. And you move, please move on to the next question. I've already published the next question. So you have 12, 13, 15, 19, 27, and 43. What is going to be the right choice? Now, if you look at the difference here, the difference being here 1, the difference being 2, 4, now 8, 16. Now what is this? You need to understand, earlier yeah, sorry. Yeah, Earlier you have a difference of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, which is absolutely in the arithmetic progression. Why is it an arithmetic progression? Because in an arithmetic progression the difference between any two consecutive terms is constant. Now the beauty is, if you look at the only difference in this question, no constant difference, the ratio being constant, 1, 2, 4, 8, which means the ratio between any two consecutive terms is a constant. So definitely the series is in geometric progression. So I should not even think much before I proceed. So if you look at this question, obviously what should have been, because the ratio being constant, 2 here, 2 here, the ratio being 2, when you multiply it is going to be 2, so 2 into 2, 2 4 into 2. Obviously you don't need to really write this, you should be able to understand the logic, and the next will be obviously how much, 32. Now what is the required value? So obviously 43 plus 32, which is absolutely going to be how much, 75. Yes, I think again, because the ratios are being favorite for most of you, all of you are absolutely right. 75 is right answer. Let's move on to quickly on to the next question. I've also broadcasted the question, so feel free to ask me in case if you have any doubts. Let's move on to the next question. I've already broadcasted it. Now please think carefully before you answering the questions, and I'm looking forward to your choices. Do not worry about the mistakes in the initial initial duration. Please see through that your accuracy is more important, and you are not compromising on the accuracy in the name of speed. Make sure that you are attempting without fail. Again, I'm looking forward to all of your choices. They are absolutely simple. I see somebody, Pinakshi Roy says 97, Sweta says 97. Absolutely right, because it's it's a simple question, something similar, but the only thing is you need to understand the difference being how much. Look at the difference, 5. What is the difference here? 7. What is the difference here? 37 and 48, which is obviously 11. What is the difference here? 13. What is the difference here? 61 plus 17. Now look at the beauty. All of them are, what is going to be the value of 5, 7, 11, 13? All of them are going to be prime numbers. So the next prime number is going to be after 17 is going to be 19. So I need to see that I'm adding 19 to it, so 78 plus 19, which has to be how much? 97. So the next number in the series must be equal to how much? 97. So they are absolutely simple. So let's move on to the next one. Let me see how many of you can do it. I've already broadcasted the next question. Feel free to ask me in case if you have any doubts. So what is the right option? I'm been waiting. Yes, couple of them. Yes, almost most of you have given absolutely 187. Let's look at. So if you look at again, look at the difference here. Look at the difference here. 4 and it is absolutely 9. The beauty is 16. We can see the fact. No, the differences are being squares, so it has to be 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, and obviously the next one has to be 7 square, which has to be 49. So if you add both of them, which is exactly going to be how much? 187. So yes, so all of you are absolutely right. So I've been waiting for the others. Now let's quickly move on to the next one. Now it should not really take much of your time. Again, I'm looking forward to your choices. Yes, again, the moment you look at the question, we should be able to get an idea because they are not really difficult. All of you, I see absolutely right because 3 immediately here, the beauty is 3, 5, prime number 7. In fact, if you look at the option choices, look at the beauty is the difference being 2. So definitely it has to be 9. So immediately I know this and this cannot be, because plus 2 which will definitely gives 9. Now if you look at z minus 1, y minus 1, x, so it has to be x minus 1. So if you look at, yes, the only option I can think of here would be second option. So we don't even need to, sometimes it's much easier to evade with the option choice. So definitely the right one is going to be second one, absolutely right. In fact, yes, so all of you are absolutely right. So let's move on to quickly on to the next one. I've already broadcasted. Even this question should not even take 15 to 20 seconds because they are absolutely simple. So please make sure that you are attempting without fail. And this is going to be the easiest among the lot because today we are only just discussing about the basics of the series. So one must be able to, the moment fact, you can say other way around, 128 into 2 or 256 into 2, and similarly this is absolute into 2, this also must be into 2, which is going to be 2048 and into 2, or the other way around. If you look at, if you are really good at 2 power 7, 2 power 8 is 256, 2 power 9 is 512, 2 power 10 is 1024 and is 4096. So this has to be how much? 2 power 11, which is exactly going to be how much? 2048. So in any case, all of your yes, fourth option is absolutely right. So let's move on to the next one without wasting much of our energy. So I've already broadcasted. Please see through that. It looks something interesting. Let me see how many of you can do it. Please make sure that you are attempting. So till now I was mostly focusing on the ratios which having a constant difference, or the ratios or which the difference between the terms are being constant, or it could be arithmetic progression, geometric progression, or it could be prime numbers, or the difference being squares of the given number. So yes, let's look at little more in detail. Now look at the slightly moderately difficult question. Let me see how many of you can do it. Here I can't see any constant difference, but you need to be a little more careful how the other is testing. Yes. Please make sure that all of you are attempting without fail. Don't worry about the mistake, but let's learn from the mistakes. Yes, finally I got one answer from Soumidri Kapat, says 114. Very good attempt, but let's see how many. Yes, that's an excellent one. So yes, you are absolutely right, Soumidri. Now let's look at it. The question definitely, unlike the previous question, it is not. I didn't find any of the constant difference or the ratio being no, the difference between terms are not having any arithmetic progression or geometric progression. Then you need to little observe the look at the series very carefully. You might find the another idea. So you need to see that you are understanding carefully before you now. For example, I can see. Sorry. These terms which are in alternate places having some relation, and similarly they are. So sometimes you will have alternate series. So if you look at, so the difference here 1, the difference being 4, the difference being 9. So obviously if at all I'm having the difference here will be definitely 16, because there are 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. Now if you look at the series in the alternate places, so you have 12, 26, 55, and in fact you are required to find the next term in the series. Now can I say 12 into 2, 24 plus 2, which is absolutely going to be how much? 26. Similarly, if you look at here, because I can see 26 into 2, 52 plus 3. So the next one will be definitely in the similar way, 55 into 2 plus 4, because this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So yes, I do agree with Soumidri, it has to be absolutely how much? 114. So these are popularly known as alternate series. Yes, let me move on to the next one. So I've already broadcasted the next question. Please make sure that all of you are attempting. Yeah. So let me broadcast the question I have. We are looking at X21. Yes, I've broadcasted the question. Please make sure that all of you are attempting it. Pinakshi Roy, absolutely you are on dot. Your speed is really good. So if you look at 21, let's focus on the number. So if you look at 21 into 2, 42. 42 into 1 by 3, because it has to be how much? 1/3 of it. Now if you look at into 1 into 4 into 4. Now if you look at initially it is 2 and then 3, but then it is dividing and then 4, and then obviously it has to be 1/5. That's the reason it has to be, the next term has to be into 1 by 5, because they are in the sequential order 2, 3, 4, 5, but then alternatively it is going to be, no, one of them is going to be multiplication and the another one is division. So 56 by 5, which has to be 11.2. In fact, the moment I look at without doing anything, it has to be definitely 11.2. If somebody has a different logic, please see that you are yeah. So yes, I would definitely go with 11.2. On the other hand, if you look at x, I don't even need to do it. If you look at, yes, I do have x and t, the difference being 4 again, because you should be very good at numbers. For example, a, b, c, d, e, normally I do remember f, g, h, i, j, k, l, m. So we know the fact there are going to be 13, yes, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you are really good at the alphabet, so similarly 14 will be N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So that's how I remember. All the positional values also are going to be very important in series and missing terms. So because that will allow you to look at the question in much faster. So if you look at x and t, the difference being 4. Similarly t and p, again the difference being 4. Again if you look at p and l, so the difference being again is going to be 4. Now similarly the next difference has to be h. So I know without doing much, even if I look at this has to be 4, 4, it has to be h. So immediately I can, in fact 1 and 3 can be eliminated, but between a closer look, because both of them are h, but then 14.1 cannot be a feasible option because it has to be 11.2. The only possible option has to be 11.2. Yes, not a yeah, good question. Swaroop is asking, how do I get to know? No, it will in such cases. See, definitely, if you look at, there are, one is on the number series base and the second thing is on the alphabets. You will be able to, if you are not able to get a clue, at least you should be able to eliminate, no, either alphabets or numerical series. If you look at any one of them will be a easier clue. Somebody might be looking at alphabets, somebody be looking at numbers. It depends on your practice, and it also depends on that point of time, how that is the reason I keep saying you need to be fresh in the exam, because you need to keep your mind as open as saying you need to be as much as free as possible before you enter the examination. Till you enter the examination hall, you need to see that you are pressurizing yourself, you are practicing as many questions as possible. But the moment one day before examination or the day on the examination, I keep saying my students, don't refer too much on that today. Please see through that you are just brushing up all your fundamentals and not to pressurize yourself, because you'll not be able to think if you are under too much of a pressurized environment. So you need to practice really that kind of thought process. You will be able to, and you need to start taking as many exams as possible, and then you will be able to do it. It's really difficult until unless you do not have a practice beforehand. There are certain questions, come what may, whatever you practice, you will not be able to you will not be able to solve. Then what you need to do, ideally you should be able to identify those questions. You should not even touch them. For me, the difficulty level depends on what kind of preparation you had or what kind of inclination you had in that particular subject. If you let me be honest, I'm not really good at algebra. That does not mean that I'm always gotten more than 99 percentile whenever I attempt CAT, because I know this is not my forte. So I'll see that all the other areas being addressed, and then I will get into the algebra, because then I'll see that there are any other ways of solving the questions rather than direct attempting. So you need to understand, based on individual strengths and weaknesses, you need to start determining the ways of solving the question. There is no particular way of addressing that kind of things. Yes. Yeah, all of you are absolutely right as far as this question is concerned. So let's move on to quickly on to the next question. I've already broadcasted. Please make sure that yes, let's move on to quickly on to the next one. Yes, somebody says, Sushmita says 114. What is it exactly? Okay, that's for the previous question. Let's move on to the next one. In fact, we have gone way ahead. Yeah, so I've given a series. Let's see how many of you can do it. So the difference being 9, the difference being 18, again the difference being 24. Yes, 27, 18, yeah, 45, not 24, 27. So we really do not know. But the beauty is, I can see, I don't need to really waste my energies again the constant bit. So if you're a little logical, 9 2s are 9 3s are, so it has to be 9 4s are 36, and the next difference should be 9 5s are 45. So let's validate. So 72 plus 36, 72 plus 36, which has to be how much? 108. But validate again. 108 plus 45, which has to be how much? 153. Yes, we are fortunate, so I don't need to really worry about too much. So the right choice is going to be absolutely how much? Yes, 153. I hope all of you have solved this question. So all you need to do is pay a little bit of attention. The difference being constant, the difference being constant, or I can say they are absolutely in the arithmetic progression. The moment you realize, the moment you look at 2-3 terms, you should be able to think of, okay, it could be a possible case of scenario like arithmetic progression, geometric progression, or squares of the given numbers, or prime numbers. Yes, so let's look at the next question. I've already broadcasted. Please see through that. All of you are attempting. This is a simple question. Yes. Yeah, 108 is absolutely right. Good thing is all of you are able to give me this today. I see a lot of active participation from most of you. That's quite encouraging. But let's see to how many of you can maintain the same momentum till the end of the session. So I'm looking forward to all of your choices. Yeah, obviously it is slightly. So let's try to understand. 5, the difference being 10, the difference being 17. Now I do not know really. Yes, yeah, somebody has already started throwing the choices. 76. Now if you look at, the beauty is I can sense something. Can I say 5 being 2 square plus 1, 10 being 3 square plus 1, here 4 square plus 1. So something I'm looking for, 5 square plus 1 has to be 26. 26. Look at the option choices. The beauty is I do have, but then if I look at the next one, should be something in the similar order, which has to be 6 square plus 1, 37. So let me validate. So 50 plus 26, which is going to be 76, and similarly 76 plus 37, which is going to be definitely 113. So what is going to be the right choice? So absolutely it has to be 76. So yes, all of you are absolutely right. So let's quickly move on to the next one. Yeah, this is probably could be very easy for most of you. Let me broadcast it. Yes, I've already broadcasted. Let's see how many we can do it. Again, it's a simpler question. We should be able to. In fact, somebody should be definitely, as much as you are comfortable in ascending order, you should also be comfortable in Z, Y, X. So if you look at, you should be very comfortable in even descending order. So always I know the fact this is 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. I don't need to write all this in the exam, only for the academic interest I'm just writing. So here you do know the fact A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. Yeah. So Z and Y, how far the difference? The difference being only just -1. Y and W. So if you look at Y and W, we can sense it is a difference of 3. W and T, so it is a difference of 3. Again T and P, it's a difference of 4. And P and K, 16 minus 5, which is obviously going to be 11 because this is 12, 13, so yes, K. So this has to be -6. So 11 minus 6, which has to be 5. So E is going to be definitely 11 minus 6. So it has to be second option. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. E has to be the option. So yes, Amika and Pinakshi and Patak, all of you are absolutely right. So let's not waste. Let's quickly look at a couple of more questions on code. I've already broadcasted. Feel free to ask me. So if you look at, by the time you look at the question, you should be, now because we have already seen, the moment you look at the question A and C, sorry, A and C, C and E, now henceforth I don't want to write E, F, G, so it has to be +2, which has to be G, again G +2, which is going to be I, so yes, it has to be starting with G. Immediately I know this cannot be my choices. Now A, B, C, D, F, G, H. So again it is a difference of 2, H, I, J. Again a J, K, L. So +2 has to be L, L, M, N. So I'm looking. Even for academic interest, if you are looking at K, M, O, S, K +2, K, L, M, M +2, and O, O, P, Q, so +2, and Q, R, S, which is also, each and every term is having a difference of 2, so definitely the right choice in this case is going to be, absolutely going to be GLK. So yes, all of you are absolutely right. Let's quickly move on to the next one. Let's not waste most of the time. I know they are being quite, some of them are being very simple, but yes, believe the fact that, believe me, definitely there are certain questions which are very easy, but then under the exam pressure, a lot of people find it difficult because you are being tense. So that is where you need to start thinking very openly in order to solve, because all you need to do is stick to your fundamentals, look at the differences, look at the series, or sometimes it might not be feasible. Then you need to think of, are there any ways of looking at the question. So as far as this questions, most of them are given very simple. So let's move on to the topic of the discussion. So if you look at A, D, Y, B, V, Y, R, U. So immediately you should not A and Y. So there is a difference of 2. Sorry, there is a difference of 2. So if you look at, yes, Z, Y, Z, Y, X, W, U, V. So Y and V is a difference of 3. Y and V is a difference of 3. So in fact, P, Q, R, S. So if you look at again V and R, there is a difference of 4. There is a difference of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has to be definitely difference of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 has to be M. So definitely I know this cannot be neither 1 or 3. It has to be M. Now similarly, if you look at D and B having a difference of 2, and B and Y, B and Y. So because D, C, B, A, D and B and B and Y. So again, this is a difference of 3. So if you look at Y and 4, it has to be U. So again, there is a same order it is. So we are looking for a term which is a difference of 5. So from U, difference of 5 has to be P. So the only option we can think of here has to be no P. Yes, if you are not really comfortable, what I keep suggesting is in the initial days, yes, write the numbers like what we have done for the previously 2 questions. Start with Z as 26 and then Y as 25, X as 24. So look at the numbers. That's how, because most of them are comfortable with the numbers, but then you need to also, in order to improve your speed, that's the compromise you need to make. You need to spend a little more time in looking at the alphabets, then you will be able to automatically improve your speed. By looking at the alphabet, you should have a comfort. Okay, the difference between Z and Y being 1, the difference between Z and U being 4, sorry, Z and U being, yes, obviously 5. So such kind of comfort you need to will only be developing once you start practicing it. Yes, don't limit the questions with the classroom class. In the session, we are only going to give you a little bit of guidance and strategy. Post session, that is where you need to get into the Conuro online platform and see that you are practicing as many polls as possible and start interacting with the faculty in terms of, okay, there are going to be definitely having discussed lot of concepts. Still there will be definitely many concepts which will not be covered as a part of this session, that you need to start striving for it individually in order to maximize. In fact, I keep saying the people, the success is not because of the Conuro. The success is always people who are practicing our platform. It is the individual himself has to credit. That is, you yourself are going to fight for your career, not we are only going to assist you in terms of how to fight, but the fight has to happen from within yourself. And because this is very important phase of your career in order to get into the company, so please see through that you are not limiting to the classroom discussion, and you need to have a forum with your friends whenever. See, this is how do you maximize the friend. A good friend is able to help you, because you need to find a friend who is complacent with you. The idea is complement with you. So if you are good at quant, somebody is good at reasoning, you should be a good pair, so that you start discussing the ideas on the quant with him, whereas he is going to discuss the ideas on the reasoning. That's how you complement each other. So you need to learn how to take the sense of the others and see that we are working as a team. But in the exam, of course, you are going to compete with your friends, but outside the exam you are going to help each other. That's how we are going to thrive. Yes, let's move on to the next question. Yeah, this is a very simple one. I'm sure it should not take more than 2 seconds. Sorry, 20 seconds, because 10 seconds to read, 10 seconds to solve. I've already broadcasted. In fact, let's quickly move on to the next questions. Yes, all of you are absolutely right as far as the previous question is concerned. Let's move on quickly to the next one. So D's F G 16. Initially, somehow I'm attracted to numbers, so normally I tend to start with numbers. But there are quite a few people who are really good at alphabets as well. So individual sense, I can see this is 4 square, 6 square, 8 square, 10 square. Obviously, it has to be 12 square. So without even much effort, for me, the right choice is going to be 3. Somebody might be looking at alphabets plus 2 because D, E, F, F, G, H. So again plus 2, H, I, J plus 2, J, K, L. So it has to be L. So the beauty is unfortunately all of them are being same. So people who are starting with the numbers will have little advantage. So obviously the only option has to be 144. So yes, let's move on to quickly on to the next one. They're absolutely right. Shubhadeep, Pinakshi Roy, Jagrati. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. Let's quickly move on to the next one and let's maximize. Let's look at few more questions of a different concept. Yes, you have 2, 3, 6, 9, 36. This is quite interesting. This is quite interesting. Let me see if you can do it. If you look at probably M, the moment, yes, somebody has already given. That's quite interesting. Yes, Nisha, you are saying previous. Okay, let's move on to the absolutely right 144. Let's move on to the next one. So if you look at now, it's really something. Now I see somehow this is easier here. So let me start. M and N plus 1, N O P Q plus 3, N O P Q, M and O P Q. So PQRSTUV. So if you look at, yes, I see plus 5. So this is VWXYZABC. So between Q and V we have 5. V and C I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so absolutely right. So it has to be C plus 9. So D, E, F, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. So if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it has to be definitely L. Now the beauty is, even though I do not know anything about this about the series, I should be able to look at, because I definitely see alphabets are slightly easier here. Or if at all you are going with the numbers, let's look at very carefully the difference. 3 plus 3 and 6 plus 3 and this is 9 plus 27, but this somehow we do not make some sense. Now if you with a closer look, look at very carefully. Plus 1 into 2 plus 3 into 4. So the next one has to be, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously it has to be 5. So 36 plus 5. It must be how much? 41. So yes, you need to be a little more careful. All of you are absolutely right. Nisha, Anirudh, and Roy, and Jagrati. Yes, 41L. Yes, this is slightly moderate one. I would not say too difficult. Yes, moderately difficult question. So if you are able to solve such kind of questions, it gives you a little more confidence when you go for the real exam. So please see through that you are maximizing. Now let's move on to the next one. I've already broadcasted the next one. Please see through that. All of you are attempting. Yes, I think we have already done this. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Yeah. Yeah, this is quite simple because we can see The moment you see, yeah, other also knows the fact, all of you are aware, because 23 and 28 5, and 28 and 38 10, 38 and 53 15. So this has to be almost 20. Now the look at the choices. So I can see 73. So only 2, 1 and 4 can be eliminated between. So you need to have a good understanding of both the numbers and alphabets, then only you will be able to. So if you look at A, B, C, D, so obviously A and D are differed by how much? 3. And D, E, F, G, H. So again they are differed by 4. So A and D 3, and D and H 4, H and M, I, J, K, L, M. So yes, which is absolutely fine. Now after M we are looking at 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after M it has to be 6. So N, O, P, Q, R, S. So because we are looking at 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it has to be definitely yes, 73. Yes, 73. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. Now the only point here, yeah, the only point here, given time, anybody can do the questions. But how much time you are really taking to solve the question is more important in such kind of questions. If I give you 2 minutes, I'm sure out of 50, all the 50 will be able to do it. If I'm giving you only 1 minute, probably there are 30 people can do it. If I'm only giving you 30 seconds, now yes, in the exam I'm not specifically giving for any of the questions individually, but then people who are going to complete within 30 seconds or 1 minute, you have a due advantage in solving the difficult questions, whereas others will be able to complete. The number of attempts are going to be less for the people who are not increasing the speeds. That is where the practice will help you to improve your speeds. Unfortunately, in your generation, not only the accuracies are important, your speed at which, the pace at which you are working is also important. In our generation, people who are really performing will be given an opportunity to work, because there are hardly very limited people. But then your generation, the competition is so intense, until unless your accuracy levels and speed are also you are managing, that is where you are going to get the call. So please see through that you are practicing as many questions as possible in order to improve your speed. So let's move on to the next one. Again, I'm going to throw you a little bit on numbers, but then this time the difficulty levels are going to be slightly increasing. Let's see how many of you can do it. Yeah, now I want you to focus this time around. You will not be able to do in 30 seconds. Definitely you might take a little time. So please see through that you are spending the considerable time, and make sure that you are answering. Yes, look at the difference. First way to start with, obviously we'll start 6. I can see 13, we can see 21, 30. Now I'm not able to figure out anything in the second level. Then let's look at the difference being 7 here, 8 here, 9. The beauty is now they are in arithmetic progression. Or if some of you will go the next level 1, so obviously this has to be 10, so which means this has to be 40. So in the third level the difference being constant, so definitely it has to be 120. So yes, you cannot give it up. The moment some people they'll give it up after one attempt, one difference or two differences, but sometimes you will have the third level being constant. So Absolutely, all four of you are absolutely right. Yes, let's quickly move on to the next one. Yes, I've already broadcasted the question. Please see through that. All of you are attempting. Don't give up on the numbers by looking at the. So you have 191, you have 316, 532, 875. So just don't give up. Look at closerly. So can we say if it is 200, 116, so which means 116 plus 9, it has to be 125. Again, if it is 300, 232, so 232 minus 16, this has to be 216. If it is 500, 375, 375 minus 32, so it has to be 375, 345, so 45 minus 2, 343. Now the beauty is once you make a step, this is going to be 5 cube, this is going to be 6 cube, and this is going to be 7 cube, which means the next one has to be in the same order, 8 cube, which has to be 512. So I'm looking for a number which has to be 875 plus 512, which is going to be definitely how much? 1387. So look at the beauty. Yes, you do have 1387. So definitely the right choice is going to be no 1387. Yes. Yeah, it definitely has taken quite a bit of time for most of you. Very few of them are able to answer because the difference being in the third digit. Third digit, yes, if it is a single digit or two, this is very easy to make some understanding. So even in the third level, we should be very comfortable with handling the numbers or operations on numbers. Then you should be able to figure out very easily. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. 1387. So let's quickly move on to the next one. Something similar. Let me see how many you can do it. Yes. Look at very carefully. Let me see how many you can do it. Logically, you need to come to the conclusion. Uh, so I'm giving you absolutely 1 minute. Let's see how many you can answer and keep posting your choices. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. 1387 as far as the previous question is concerned. But let's stay focused on the. Yes, I see a couple of options. 1330. Suraj says excellent. Good. So yes, normally if it clicks within a fraction of a second. So if you look at 743, so yes, so this is in the form of 7 cube minus 1. This is in the form of 8 cube minus 1. It is in the form of 9 cube minus 1, 10 cube minus 1. So obviously this has to be 11 cube minus 1. 11 cube is 1331 minus 1, which is absolutely going to be how much? 1330. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. People who marked 1330, I see a lot of people have made an excellent attempt. Let's move on to the next one. Yes, I've already broadcasted the question. Please see through that you are attempting without fail. Now, this is not going to be really easy. That's not so easy. Let's see how many of you can figure out the right choice. You can't expect every question in the similar fashion. So you need to be little logical. I can see the differences being very hard. So look at, I can see almost this is twice, this is four times. So if you are little logical in your approach, can I say this is going to be 36 into 1 plus 1? The reason is I'm seeing this is being 37 into 2, which is 74 plus 2. Similarly, I can see this is going to be 76 into 3 plus 3. So because if you look at 3, 210 plus 18, 228 plus 3, which is absolutely going to be 231. So this is definitely in the form of 231 into 4 plus 4. So if you look at 4 1 the 4, 4 223 is 924 plus 4. So the next one in the series has to be 928 into 5 plus 5. So if you look at 4500 plus 140, so it has to be 4640 plus 5, which is going to be definitely how much? 4645. Yes. Now it follows a series of ax plus b form. So it is not just the difference, it's also x is also changing constantly. So earlier normally you will find either no in the form of a constant, either in the form of a constant or multiplication of a constant, but in this case what is happening, the complexity is increasing because there are two variables are happening. We are also changing the constant, we are also multiplier is also being changing. So because it is in the form of plus 1 into 1 plus into 2 plus 2 into 3 plus 3. So yes, these kind of questions definitely are going to be difficult compared to the previous ones, because it is not easy to get at that point of exam until unless you have a very good eye for detail. Yes, you once you start practicing, believe me, it is not really difficult, but yeah, you need to see that you are constantly in touch with unfortunately, especially for the mathematics or in fact for any of the subject, if you start looking at the concept regularly, it becomes no, it gets registered in your permanent memory, so that it is very easy to recall. Otherwise, if you are looking once in a while, then it's very easy difficult to recall these kind of concepts in the exam, because it will not get registered in your permanent memory. So you need to see that you are actually practicing, then only you will be able to solve such kind of questions. Yes, I see a lot of students have, yes, could be able to make an attempt. Especially I see all these people are very active. Nisha, Samudri, yes, Jagrati, yes, all of you are absolutely right. So let's move on to the next one. I've already broadcasted the next one. So again, something similar, but then not exactly. Let me see how many of you can do it. But the beauty is, by looking at the numbers, we should be able to make some sense of the format. So if at all you are looking at the different size, we can see certain relation here: 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Yes, multiple ways of looking at, and I can see obviously 128, which has to be 254. Yes, one of the ways of probably I can see, or some people might look at, can we say 2 into 2 plus 2, which is going to be how much? 6. 6 into 2 plus 2, which is going to be how much? 14. Again 14 into 2, 28 plus 2, 30. Yes, nothing wrong. The way you look at 30 into 2 plus 2, I can see 62. Because I'm seeing the difference, no, there is an increasing of twice. 62 into 2, 124 plus 2, 126. 126 into 2, 252 plus 2, which is also going to be 254. Nothing is wrong. In any case, you will end up getting the same as far as you are able to look at the question in a right fashion. Yes, 254 is absolutely right. All of you are absolutely right. But I just wanted to discuss because so that the way you look at the questions, the orientation or approach also should be very clear. Yes, all of you are right. So I've just moved on to the next question. Look at the question. Let me see if I can do it. This kind of questions little difficult unless you look at very closely. Let's say if I'm looking at the difference being here 6, I can see the difference being 18, I can see the difference being 26. Yeah, in fact it's really becoming difficult to make 6 and the difference is becoming 8. But look at the option choices. They are definitely more than 112. So now you need to be really careful such kind of cases. So any choices somebody has given? Let me see. Anyone? No, nobody has given. Yes, definitely. Now look at very carefully. Can I express the 6 as 2 and 3, 2 into 3, 12 as 3 into 4, this 2 into 3, unfortunately this is 5 into 6, 7 into 8, but then 3 is repeating here, so I cannot make it. Now let's look at it in a different fashion. Can I express this is 2 square plus 2 because I see 4 plus 2. Similarly, this is 3 square plus 3, which is 9 plus 3. And this as 5 square plus 5. This, and I can see this as 6 or 7 square plus 7. Now this is working out. Look at this is how. Now obviously because they are prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7. The next one has to be 11 square plus 11, or I can say 121 plus 11. The required value has to be 132. Yes, this is absolutely right. 132. Is absolutely in line with the other. So that is the challenging task in most of the competitive exams. You might get some relation, but which might not be there as a part of your option. Then you need to see that you are getting into the shoes of other that comes. So with a little more practice, we need to see that we are not limiting to our own methodology. We also need to get into the shoes of the other. How do I option choices? Option choices definitely give you a little more clue to how to look at the question. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. 132 is going to be the right choice. So let's quickly move on to the next one. I've already broadcasted the next question. Feel free to ask me in case you have any doubts. Don't give up on the questions. I know it's been 1 hour. That is very important, how to sustain your energies till the end of the examination, because I see a lot of people who are really intelligent and they have the ability to solve it, but then they'll not be able to sustain their energies for the longer duration. especially for the competitive exams and international exams like GRE, GMAT, where the duration of the exam itself is going to be 4 hours. The people who are going to succeed are the people who are going to sustain the momentum for the longer duration. Again, it will come up with a little more practice of taking as many tests as possible. Let's say if you are looking for a particular exam company, and you need to see that you are taking as many mocks as possible for that particular company, that will give you how to plan your and schedule your time, and especially how to manage your time between the sections as well as within the section. So don't limit for every. In fact, we in our online platform, you've also given a lot of exam plans as part of your exam dashboard. Click on to the exam dashboard. You have a lot of exam plans whenever any company visits your campus, so you can get into the exam plan and you can see all the FLTs of that particular company. So start practicing. That's how you gain the insights of that particular company. As far as I know, I think Geetam, so DXC is visiting most of the colleges in Vishakhapatnam very soon. So you need to see that you are getting prepared for those FLTs, so that will give you a fair idea how they are going to conduct the test. Yes, in fact, we have a couple of exam plans, and DXC is already there as a part of our exam dashboard. So please see through that. You are preparing whichever companies are coming to your campuses. Yeah, so coming back to the questions, I think I have a couple of answers. I'm seeing only 4 to 5 who are really active. Rest of them, please see through that. You are also responding without fail. I see all of you are unanimously saying 559, which means I'm assuming that's absolutely right. So let's look at, it's very simple. So again, don't look at the bigger numbers for the worrisome. So look at the difference being 1, difference being 8, the difference being here I see 27, the difference being 64. The beauty is I can see the cubes here, unlike the squares. 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cube, 4 cube and 5 cube. Obviously the next one is going to be 6 cube, which is going to be 216. So we are looking for 775 minus 216, so it has to be definitely 59 and 559. So yes, so if you're absolutely right, so let's move on to the next one. Now this is going to be definitely interesting. Let me see how much we can do it. Yeah, so please see through that. All of you are paying attention. We are reaching the fag end of the session, so let's try to maximize a few more questions for practice as well as a few more concepts. This is difficult, definitely difficult. Let me see how much we can do it. I'm giving you 1 minute because by looking at the series, it seems I cannot make any sense out of it. But then, yeah, we have to figure out, because that's the author has given. Definitely, there will be certain relation, or we need to see that we are establishing some link between the given numbers. So if you look at, yes, I can see the difference being 0, 2, 3. So we have 3, 3, 5, 11, 23, 43. It's increasing constantly. Yeah. Yeah, look at the difference being 0 here, 2 here, 6 here, 12 here and 20. So can I say this is 1 square minus 1, 2 square minus 2, 3 square minus 3, 4 square minus 4, 5 square minus 5, 6 square minus 6, so this has to be 30. It's not really easy to establish such kind of link. Yeah, it is definitely. So if you look at, I'm looking for a number which should be 43 plus 30, which has to be how much? 73. So absolutely the required value is going to be the third option. Yes, good. Quite a few of them done absolutely good. Probably you might have done in a different fashion. So that's good. That's good. Let's move on to quickly on to the next one. Now let me see if I can do it. I've already broadcasted the question. Please see through that you are attempting without fail. So I'm looking forward to all of your choices. Please do not hesitate. Feel free to ask me in case if you have any queries, and let's try to maximize. The last one, yeah. So basically what I'm seeing, it is a 0 difference 2 6 12 20. So what I'm saying, it is 1 square minus 1, 2 square minus 2, 3 square, or probably, yeah, this has to be 6 square minus 6, which is obviously going to be 30. So or some of you might have gone for a next level difference, 2 4, no, this is 6 and this is 8, which is also absolutely fine. So which will also gives rise to 30. From there again 73. So it is depends. So how do you look at the question? Yes, this is also absolutely fine. So let's move on to this. Now this is interesting. Let me see how if we can do it. Definitely. If you look at probably some, I'm sure some of you might will start with the differences. So let me start with the, I think this is what, no, this is the question. So if you look at the difference being 24 here, 36 plus 44 here, 70 here. Yes, again if I look at the difference here, 20 here and 26 here. So if I go with the options here, it's very difficult. Yeah, I don't think we will not be able to make any option choices here. Nisha says 252. 36, 80 and 150. Now look at very carefully. So can I express this as 2 square into 3 as a prime factorization? I can see this is 3 square into 4 and this is 4 square into 5. This is 6 square, 5 square, 25 into 6, 25 into 6. So obviously the next one is going to be 6 square into 7, which is going to be 36 into 7. It has to be 252. Yes, yes, Yogesh, Pratik and Nisha, absolutely excellent attempt. There are going to be definitely how much? 252. Probably there might be a definitely a way, other way of looking at the question. So yes, but then end of the day for us, the important is no, the right choice here is definitely going to be 252. Yes, let's quickly move on to this. Is quite simple. We should not really spend too much of energies. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. 252. This kind of questions, the moment you look at the question, you should be able to answer this because they are pretty simple. So if you look at, sometimes you will see the multiply with 2 here, 3 here, I can see 4 here, and this is going to be 5. Yes, obviously the next one should have been 6. So simply it's going to be 1440 into 6, which is absolutely going to be 8640. 8640. So the moment you look at the numbers in certain relation, we should be able to quickly solve them. Yes. Now, yeah, what are the next one? Again, you need to be a little careful. The moment we can simply identify the fact by looking at the series, that absolutely half of it. Now with a closer look, I can see this is 1/3 of it, and this is going to be 1/4 of it, because 4 8 is 3200 for 40. So the next one in the series has to be 1/5 of it. So we are looking at 840 by 5, which is going to be definitely 168. So yes, the right choice is going to be definitely the third one. Yeah. Now this is, let's look at this. Let's quickly look at one or two more, and let's try to look at 2 more questions. We are reaching the penultimate one, so let's stay focused on the questions. Let's see how many we can do it. They are not really easy. Look at carefully. Yes, all of you are absolutely right. Let's stay focused on last 2-3 questions. They are not really easy. They are definitely going to be moderate to difficult ones. Let me see how many we can maximize. So please stay focused for next 2 minutes, then we will wind up the session. Yes, yes, very good attempt by Saumantri. Yeah, so if you look at, again, I can see definitely with a closer look, can we say now 195 into 1 plus 2. Now if you look at thus 197 into 2, which is 394 plus 3. So then the next one has to be 397 into 3 plus 4. So if you look at 3 7 the 21, 2 3 9 the 27 plus 2 29. So 1191 plus 4, this must be definitely how much? 1195. But then we need to validate again the next one in the order, because this has to be 1195 into 4 plus 5. So if you look at 4 5 are 20, 36 plus 2 38, 44 plus 3 47, 80 plus 5. Yes, absolutely right. So definitely the required choice is going to be 1195. Yes, all of you are absolutely right, but how much time you are really taking to solve such kind of questions is going to matter. As yes, Sanchita, Shushmita, Sveta, yes, all of you are absolutely right. So yes, we get one more question. Yeah, first thing, I can make the difference being 6 here, 20 here, and 42 here, and we can see this is going to be 72. But I'm not seeing any either arithmetic progression or I'm not seeing anything here, neither the arithmetic progression nor geometric progression nor any of the constant. Now then you need to be really very careful, because I'm seeing 6, 20, 42, 72. So can we express this as 2 into 3 and this as 4 into 5, this as 6 into 7, because they are being constant, 8 into 9. The next one has to be in the order of 10 into 11. So we are looking for a difference of constant difference of 110, which means the required number is simply going to be 185 plus 295. Yes. So Yeah, these are the kind of things you will often find in cities and missing terms. And similarly, in terms of coding, you will also find little bit of positional relocation. So we need to see that we are practicing. And in case of any doubts, feel free to ask me in the subsequent session. Similarly, uh, I hope all of you got the way comfort on the number properties, whatever we have discussed as a part of the previous session. In case if you have any doubts, feel free to ask me. Otherwise, we will wind up the session for today and we'll catch up tomorrow on, I think, again, we have a Monday. Monday to Friday, we'll have the session for the next week as well. So please see through that. All of you are not limiting to the classroom discussions and more, make sure that you are making use of our online platform in terms of practicing the question, and feel free to seek the clarification. Thank you all for joining the session. Have a nice day and have a nice weekend. Look forward to see you again on Monday. Thank you.